Hello. I try to come in here semi-easy because, ooh, see, that makes me jump. Echo, echo. All right, good. Awesome. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone is recovering from yesterday. How's it going? Eventually, I will figure out my camera. Hello, how's it going? My name is William, and this is my so-called life. I hope everyone's doing well. It is the Monday after the Super Bowl, and there is a lot to talk about, and there's even more to sow. So I hope everyone's having a great night. I have nothing but awesome plans this evening. I'm still a bit under the weather, but the show must go on. So is my beard. I don't know how long I'm going to take it this time, but we're here. How are you feeling tonight? Yay! Do you know what's really funny? One of the reasons I'm having the stream right now is because Hans did not go to his MMA class because he's not feeling well. And he made the decision. I was shocked. I thought I was gonna have to pull rank today and tell him, like, hey, you're not feeling well. You can't be in a room of people doing your Power Ranger thing. And he told me, he's like, you know what? I don't feel well. I don't think I should go to my class. And I was like, wow. Yay, hello, Waternay. Hello, Skit. Yay, hello, Gilroy. I know, 20 minutes early. I know. I was gonna go at 7 o'clock, but then I like the 7:50 start time. And I'm still not 100%, so I'm still running off of batteries right now. Awesome. But like I said, the show must go on. I have a really awesome idea for something I'm going to make this evening, but before I get there, this program is for entertainment purposes only, and its content is not intended to malign any religion, race, company, individual, or wigs. All opinions expressed by my so-called life and program participants are solely their personal views and do not reflect the opinions of every human being on planet Earth. Oh, so young Mr. Sewing and I, because we were sick and supposed to be at home, and he played hooky today. Do you know, as somebody who was that kid, it was weird. I got an email and they're like, your kid didn't go to school today. Call this number so we can judge you. Oh, it made me laugh. So, young Mr. Sewing and I went around to all the thrift stores and I found this amazing book. This is Better Home and Gardens Treasury of Needlecrafts. And you never know what year, what era, or what age that these books come from. I'm not 100% yet either, but better than last week. Exactly. That's all you can keep doing. Like, I don't feel well, but I can't just sit around. Get him down here now, or we're gonna put your name in the paper. He's not a habitual ditcher, so I'm okay. It was weird to get that email. They're like, your child wasn't at school today. I know where my child was. Thank you. But I love these groovy books. I love these old school books. And this old school book, like I was saying, you can never tell what era these are from until you open them up. There are some groovy pictures in here, and it gives you instructions on how to make all of these amazing things. I love these old school. Okay. So we're going to play a game because I think I know which one it is, but we're going to play Guess That Singer. It won't let me send a certain message about Patrick Mahomes. You know what's funny? Okay. And that's funny because my chat is open. It is. My chat, like, I have no filters on my chat because I really don't get trolled like that. So I have no filters. Oh, that's funny. That sucks though. Kids can't even play a hooky without everybody knowing now. Exactly. In my day, you had to make it home before the phone call. There was a phone call, and if you made it home and picked up your phone and dropped it, that was it. But if your parents caught you, it was the end. It was the fall of the Roman Empire. Oh, good times. Oh, Gilroy, you brought back such a funny and great memory. Good times before the internet. That is very interesting, Skits. That is very, very interesting to me. So I know Alibaba's not here yet, but I think I have this machine. What singer do you think that and look how happy she is. I want to be that happy in my life. Look how ecstatic she is. I think it's her outfit, and she's sitting in a room of stuff she's done. Oh, that is glorious. Look at her hair. Oh, it's because I have my computer at a weird angle. Oh, good times. Good. When I saw that, I was like, oh, we gotta play Name That Singer. Hey, Trees, how's it going? How's it going? Great to see you. Great to see you. Awesome. Awesome. Welcome, Trees. I wonder if it's the word chokes. I was gonna put so Taylor Swift won the Super Bowl, but then that would have brought unwanted attention. I learned a long time ago there are certain things like if you go calling for them, they'll come to your channel. So you have to be careful. I sat here this morning legitimately like, should I put Taylor Swift in my thumbnail? No, okay, no. Oh, good times. Gonna be in the kitchen making tacos. Was gonna do it before you decided to go, Mr. Work Ethic, and hopping on early. Oh, it's because Mr. Hands is sick. He was so responsible today. I'm so proud of him. He's getting all manly. Making proper decisions for himself and stuff. Wow. Nope, guess not. Oh, now your first message makes sense. I was trying to make sense of what you were trying to say at first about the eagle. Hi, Trees, how's it going? Taylor Swift wearing the eagle mask. Oh, man. Alexa, how tall is Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift is 5 feet 11 inches tall.
Why does she look so tall on TV? Oh, she can fit in this room. If you're like 6'4", like because I built this room for my height, like you wouldn't be able to walk in here with the eagle head if you were at a certain height. But she's perfect height. Oh, back to my 1980s book. So, what kind of singer do you think that this ecstatic human is singing on? Is sewing on? Yay, I love these old school books. And the funny thing is they teach you how to make all of this piece by piece. Anything that you see in here, there's a grid for it. So I'm stoked. And because style's reciprocal, those books always give me really good ideas. Yay. Taylor Swift's wearing the Oh, skits, I understand. For anyone who doesn't, for anyone tuning in, our friend Skits Crusher hails from Northern California, and that's where the San Francisco 49ers reign. And I wanted them to win, okay? Unless she's wearing heels. That is true. Very true. But I built, like, even my kitchen, there are people who have made comments. They walk in my house and they're like, This house is made for someone who is your exact height. It's because I was building everything. You know, I'm the one putting things up against the wall. So it makes sense. She's singing on us. Wow. Wow. It is going to be that kind of evening. Oh. Let's see what else. Oh, okay. So I'm going to put a sewing machine in the group. And because I know that 2 or 3 people that work at this particular thrift store are subscribed to me, I have something to say. Probably 4 people that work at this thrift store are subscribed to me, and we regularly talk about my live streams. And if you're watching, hold on, let me put the picture up before. Today I was at a Goodwill. I will not say where it was, but keep in mind I've purchased quite a few sewing machines from this place, and they always start at $20. Well, they're probably noticing that this year the sewing machines are flying off the shelf. And it's because they're coming from one person, and it's me. All right. So let me do to the artist formerly known as Twitter. And I know that, like I said, 3, maybe 4 of them are subscribed to my channel. Hold on, let me get to it first before I start crying live on YouTube. All right, there we go. So hold on, let's go to the first picture. Awesome. For anyone tuning in, I hope you're having a great Monday night. My name is William. This is my so-called life, and I'm about to cry over the price of a sewing machine. So normally I'll pay, I've paid crazy prices for sewing machines. I've paid $50, I've paid $100, I've paid absorptive prices for sewing machines. Oh no, I don't know where the emergency exit is. I'm a izquierda and derecha. Okay, so, and you know what? This is more of a funny gripe, but my friends, I present to you. So I'm not gonna say what Goodwill that this is at. three or 4 people I know that are subscribed to my channel, but this brother VX1435 innocently sitting on the shelf, $49.99. Okay, I know I've said this a million times, so it's no secret. I live in the state of California. I've said it a gajillion times, so it's not like it's a secret. But even in the state of California, no one's paying $50 for a sewing machine that's at a Goodwill. Thank you, Pam. That's a lot of money for. And the reason why I say that is because I just purchased a Singer Simple for $10 at another Goodwill. And like I said, you know what? I absolutely love the 3 to 4 people that are subscribed to my channel that work at that Goodwill. So I'm not going to say where specifically it is, but $50 for a sewing machine when I'll show you, I paid $24 for this. Oh. At that same thrift store this year, I think. Was it this year? I've purchased a lot from that store. But I think I probably purchased almost every single sewing machine from that place. And I paid 20-something bucks for this. Just a friendly gripe. Hello.
Hello.
You're saving me from going full old man.
How's everyone doing? I didn't get to say hello to people because I was trying to dash in here.
Yay! Hello, how are you this evening?
Oh, I'm all right. Feeling accomplished over stuff I was doing last week. Did some rearranging, move my work desk to make it more accessible.
Awesome. Are you polished and assembled as always? I'm gonna work
getting
that. I'm
ready
gonna
to
work.
polish and assemble all kinds of stuff.
I'm gonna work that in. Do you know I'm gonna have the weirdest book collection of all time? Do you know that? I have the strangest collection of books from the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. It's not.
It's wonderful.
I stay away from needlepoint. Like I'm not a needle. Like there are certain things that I try to stay away from, but if it has to do with hand sewing or anything on a sewing machine, I'll buy it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Like small projects are okay for me for something like that, but like you're not going to catch me making a whole tapestry or ordering a set of dining chairs or
Oh, excuse me. They make it seem so fun in the book, though. That woman on the Singer is seriously sitting there with glee and her Farrah Fawcett haircut.
some people, I mean, like I find it less tedious to use a machine than people who do like large scale cross stitch or something like that. Like I told you about my friend who knitted their own sweater coat, and she's 6'2".
Oh wow.
No, 6'1". She's 6'1", and she knitted her own sweater coat. Like I admire that skill, and a lot of people find it meditative. It just would not be for me.
I'm trying to think if I could. I just that's not in my necessarily something that I've learned.
No.
You know. No, I've tried during the pandemic. I tried knitting too, and during I can't remember, was it the Summer Olympics when the UK team they were knitting?
Oh.
Was that or the winter? I can't remember because I watch them both. But I was like, I'm gonna give it a go, and then I was like, I have stone hands, like I have giant hands, so I don't know. So, did you watch the Super Bowl yesterday?
No. I don't care to.
Not a commercial or anything.
No.
Okay, then I'll just throw half my notes in the garbage.
Well, I mean,
I'm giving you a hard time. I'm just giving you a hard time. I showed up for the food, family members, and the commercials. That's it. Anything. Oh, were you ever an Usher fan?
Yeah, I like Usher.
Ever since the invention of the internet, it's reintroduced the halftime show to me because people go off, and I really like. I don't know. It's just. I've gone to a million shows. I've gone to a million concerts. So it's just to me. I watch concerts on YouTube all the time. To me, it's just another show.
Mm-hmm.
But people had opinions.
Oh, I didn't. I mean, did you think it was good? Aren't they usually good?
Because it was aimed towards my age group, I stood up at least twice and was dancing.
Nice.
And for anyone who doesn't know, Usher, his Vegas residency, half of his show is he's on skates. So I'm there. Like if you're on skates, man, and the Usher came out, he did his Vegas show towards the end, and I was like, okay, this is awesome. But again, it was geared towards people my age,
Mm-hmm.
So if you remember 1997 like I do, and it's funny, people were talking about that. They're like, this is very age specific, but how many Super Bowls have we sat there with people? I think we forget back in the day, like there's been some terrible halftime. Like the Party Rock guys, they were a halftime act. I can't even remember their name. The Party Rock. Yeah, exactly. It's like, don't sing the song. Don't sing. Whatever you do, do not sing the song. Oh, let's see. We'll get into that later. That's a discussion for later. It's still early.
Oh goodness.
Do you know I have absolutely no sense of taste?
Oh no.
And I haven't for almost 2 or 3 days.
That's no fun.
Yeah, and the reason I say that, when I was a kid, I'm gonna start pulling my stuff out for sewing in a minute. Because oh, you're beginning to robot.
All right, I'm gonna nip it in the bud.
I was about to start with an awesome story, and then our friend here at the House of Sewing started roboting. I had to tell her early so that, I didn't get in the middle of the story, and then it's always at the good part too when you got to cut out. It's always at the good part.
So who all is here tonight? I didn't get to look. Let's see. I see going from the bottom. I see Skids. Hello, Skids. I see Pam. Hello, Pam. I see Kilroy. Hello, Kilroy. Trees. Hello, Trees.
Yay! Hello, everybody.
Am I missing anybody? Oh, the artist formerly known as Godless Sewing is here.
I miss that guy. He has a great chin. He should shave his beard.
Hello, CF Beauty.
Yay! Hello. Just ordered a ooh.
Do you always bring a boy band with you, Skits?
I liked the Jets. I don't know why. And I'll tell you how I know this, because at the ranch there's this just giant box of records I found, and I was like, oh, it was mine. It had Bobby Brown, but I had a ton of Jets records.
Oh, wow.
I did. I think Menudo was a little bit before my time, and Jets was like right at my time, Oh, am I aging myself? Do you remember that? You're awesome, and don't forget to take an Advil in the morning. Yay! Hello, awesome. Yeah, you know what? It wasn't. The one thing I liked about the Super Bowl is that it wasn't boring. It wasn't. It was a good game. They're always blowouts. Back in the day, in the Joe Montana day, it would be like 45-0 by the half, and those were boring. Like, even when I was a kid, I was really into sports, and I remember even by the half, me and my cousin were out playing in the backyard at the Super Bowl parties because the games were boring.
I have to wonder how it ends up so lopsided when you have, theoretically the two best teams for the year going head to head.
Well, back in the day, they used to have divisions that didn't see each other, like in baseball and all sports, like in hockey. And now they intermingle more, so they know each other more,
Mm-hmm.
But it used to be two teams that were from two completely different divisions that didn't know each other, so they ended up playing. And so it was either really competitive, or like it was always like these guys are better than everybody else every year,
But I mean, they're still high-level teams for the year, like they ought to be.
It's one of those weird things. Like in hockey, the East Coast dominated forever, but now West Coast hockey, those teams are dominating. You just have to look at the records, So I don't know. It's a weird shift. It's one of those weird things. So I have a crazy idea.
I'm all ears.
I have a crazy idea. I'm going to make a hoodie, long sleeve. I'm sorry, a nose sleeve hoodie. I don't know what to call it. And it's going to, because I'm going for outfits this year, So I have my pieces cut. I have my my everything I'm going to line it with. And I know, let's have a talk. People think I'm crazy because I line everything. It's because I like the way it looks, and I'm practicing for when I start making suits. But I forgot I had these.
Oh, you made some Pamerolls.
I made these like a year or two ago, fearlessly.
Okay.
And the funny thing is that ever since I started using patterns, I've become scared. I literally grabbed my denim pair of overalls and just traced it, and then just cut it down until where it didn't look crazy. Something in that realm. I'm bringing the Smurf back. I'm bringing 2022 back with the giant hoods.
So you're making did you say a vest? Like what kind of vest? Like a vest with a closure or like a sleeveless pullover or?
No, because it's too long to be a pullover. It's awkward. Like, I've always thought about making clothes like that, but when I started making those giant tunics, I realized how awkward it is to pull an entire outfit over you. At least for a man.
So you can make like a long sleeveless duster kind of thing?
But I'm gonna make it with a hood.
Okay.
Fake Fendi lined with fake Fendi. I need to go back and get more. Call it a pushover. It's not a pullover. You're putting it on. You're not like it's not taking your car. It's not borrowing your VCR or so. Oh, I've really just aged myself.
I'm sorry. You said 3 letters, but I don't know what they mean. Very, very controlled. Riz? What?
It's because I'm in this weird show hole. Halo's back. All these great shows are back. But I started watching movies again, and I watched Friday the other day. I needed a laugh. I needed a good laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I bought a new clasp for my microphone. Look, my mic's not flopping around.
Very nice.
Good old Amazon. It said it would come in 24 hours, and it only took 48. You're always in a show hole. It's because I don't sleep, so I run through series. I run through series because I don't sleep, but I'm sitting here sewing, and then I'm like, oh, I just watched the entire first season.
I watched the 3rd season of Slow Horses, finally. I had been waiting for my friend, but that didn't work out, so I watched it by myself. Oh, so much happened.
Oh, what happened? What did I do?
What did you do? Have you lost something?
Oh, I lost the signal behind me, but the cord's running under my feet, so I know I did something goofy.
Oh. Practicing your moonwalk under the desk?
Do you know, I think my professional dancing days are almost over. I can do the comeback tour, but I don't have my Beyonce legs anymore.
Oh. Well, do more dancing. That'll bring back the Beyonce legs.
Do you know, I've been cleaning out my closet, hence why I found those my old overalls, and I put the exercise bike in the middle of the room for a reason, and it works because it guilts me into riding it. Sitting in there, I'm like, all right, I'll ride it for a minute. It works though. It works. So I'm still not skipping leg day here in the house of sewing.
Very nice.
All right, let me start cutting my shapes. It's weird having a microphone stand that actually works.
Yeah, you were fighting with that other one for a while.
It was just old, and the metal on the clasp had been used so much, it had the bottom rung and eroded away. Because this mic, for its age, it still works well. I don't know why. It's still better than a brand new $200 microphone.
That's probably because it was never a $200 microphone.
This one I'm using now, no. This was meant for, the Smoky Ridge Boys. This was meant to be in a studio with a bunch of people standing around it with banjos.
Mm-hmm.
Especially this one. Oh, I'm still not used to this. I still laugh though every time I see my other one. I have that weird in every rap video now they have the same microphone. I have it.
I like the retro look of that one.
I do too. I love that. And it's not an off brand and it works well. Because I looked up the company and I was like, oh wow, they're like, oh, been around since blah blah blah. But I'm not an audio, I was never an AV geek like that.
Mm-hmm.
I always knew what I knew at First Survival. You plug this in, plug this speaker in, everything is really loud. And you're roboting again.
Oh, for goodness sake. Boo and kiss. All right, try one more time.
Okay. Oh. All right, so I'm gonna grab my shapes. I haven't cut the hood yet because I'm gonna try to keep the hood sensible. I say every single time. But I also want to keep that giant mushroom shape as well. So balance. That's more of an Art Bell smoking a cig, Mike. I listened to Art Bell from the time I was a child until they're actually replaying his stuff on the radio.
Yes?
Absolutely.
All right.
Kick off your Sunday shoes. Uh-oh. I was trying not to do that, but here, ooh-wee. How's it going, Gilly? Great to see you. Great to see you.
Hello, hello.
I'm not even into that stuff, but I love George Norrie, Art Bell, all the old school radio guys, Dr. Demento, all those guys. Oh. All right.
So, I don't think you ever said what kind of vest are you making here? What are the dimensions? What are the specs?
I'm gonna go. It's gonna be really long with a hood.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I really have to do is match up the back sides, and then this should be a fairly easy project.
Mm-hmm.
I say for everything. 3 hours later. Like, I have to admit though, like, I am still at like 60%. It feels weird because I'm such an active person. I'm really bad at resting, so I stay sick longer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know how to rest.
Mm-hmm.
Even today, I was chilling, minding my own business, and my son was like, I'm making all these responsible decisions, but I also want to go to a thrift store. I was like, I like your plan, son. Let's go. Let's get in the car and go. No, he opted out to not go to his MMA class because he knows he's going to put his friends at risk because he's sick.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's close quarters, everybody gets sick. So he made a smart decision.
Mm-hmm. So why were the two of you sickies out at the thrift store? Should have gone to a park or something.
Hold on, let me get in camera. For the record, we both we both looked like a Chemical Brothers video because we were like full gloves and masks. Challenge me. And I'm the parent too, so I had a semi-protesting teenager with me. I have nerves of steel. Sorry, guys. Nerves of steel. I have a teenager. I'm tested like a piece of steel. Oh. You know what's so funny? That if you ever hear that click, that comes from a touch and sew where the plate is coming off.
Mm.
Because this room is birthing those things.
Mm.
Coming up now, our coast to coast sewing. Do you know on Rumble there's like a guy that broadcasts his 24-hour a day radio station. And he has less content than I do. I could do a 24-hour station. I could, if I combined all three of my channels with the old school shows, my bloopers, and my 3 years of, I'm not going to do it. I promise. I'm not going to do a radio channel.
And just run them 24/7 for people to come in and out of.
Why are y'all wearing gloves and masks? Oh, because we just got over the flu. Like, and I'm still sick. And where I live, most people are wearing masks. Most people. At least on my side of town. But I live in LA County. We, do you know, I was so proud of my people in LA County during the lockdowns. Like, during the plague, like, people actually listened the first time. Second time we were all over it. He's doing a thrift store job. That makes me sound like Isaiah and I are cracking the safe or something. And he's too young and I'm not that cool. Oh.
Wait a minute. Are you using fabric that you didn't launder and press?
Did you watch the same video that I just watched? Oh my gosh, you're tripping me out kind of right now because I watched this video and it was like for the 100th time. It's like, hey, do you know why your projects look homemade?
The one with the purple shirt?
It's because you don't iron them. And I was like, and I watched this video last night and I was like, did you talk to Waternay, YouTuber I've never met? Disembodied voice in my computer.
Kilroy says, Waternay, this is real life sewing, not pretty YouTube sewing. Yeah, but you know, if you don't, it's going to shrink unevenly with the other fabric. Then you'll be sad when your vest is all.
Oh, no, we don't wash Walmart material. We don't wash Walmart material.
Oh, goodness.
Ooh, I need to pull up Footloose. It is that kind of night. I need to pull the. And don't jump out, okay? But you were roboting again. Oh no, you're kind of you're there. You know what? We're just gonna have to deal with it.
Apparently, it's that kind of night.
Because the second we turn the live off, it's gonna work perfectly.
Right? What the heck?
I would take it personal.
I don't understand.
As somebody who's seen my work, if you ever need me to lose a gasket over at Spectrum for you, just let me know.
You know, yeah, I might have to have you call them for me.
I get so annoyed and it's not even about the money at this point because as I look up and Cheers is on my television, I think it's so funny. I pay for cable so I can watch reruns of old school shows. Oh, that if I ever needed professional help, I need to get rid of cable. But anyway, trust me, for as much money as we pay to have internet access, you should have decent internet access, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Spectrum. They're building stadiums in our town. if you have $1 billion for a stadium,
Mm-hmm.
$1 billion signal.
And Kilroy has a suggestion for you, William. Put up an antenna. You'd be surprised what kind of old school TV shows you can get on an antenna.
I actually have an antenna on the side of my house. I just need to hook it up.
Well, there you go.
Son of an electrical engineer. Scatter propagation is the one thing I listen to. But Kilroy's 100% right about that. And you'd be surprised what you can make them out of. Mine's it's it's so funny. Like if I told my neighbors about it, they would be like, "Oh my gosh, that thing has been there forever." But no one ever notices this weird dish just sitting on the side of my house. To be fair, I made it out of a few things and it still works.
Are we talking steampunk or are we talking stealth palm tree antenna?
Oh, steampunk. It's made from a refrigerator grill. Its spine were pieces of steel that I found around the shop, and the rest is where my predecessor taught me how to make it work.
Okay, so maybe more like Mad Max then.
I'm gonna have power during the end of electricity. Yeah, so Mad Max, yes. I actually have a working CB that's plugged in. It's powered off of that antenna. When Isaiah was younger, he used to harass truckers, but he lost he lost his moxie.
Well, I think you get away with a lot more harassment when you're a little kid than when you sound like.
Oh, they would giggle because it would be this little boy, like, "Where are you?" and I could always tell it was an old school trucker because they would say something, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a good comeback. I'm writing that down. That's gold." There's stuff I still use that I heard on that CB. Oh. But we live in a weirdly trucker-centric area because, there's massive commerce around here. And so there's truckers everywhere. Yay. Put up an antenna. Oh, yeah, it's crazy how I wish I could cut the cord and still watch Canadian hockey with my antenna.
You just need a stronger antenna.
No, people that are that smart are do 5 years in federal prison. There's laws against people like me. There's a reason why I don't do. You can't go UHF anymore. You can't go Weird Al. If you made your own channel now, they'd be at your house in 30 seconds. They would be putting their shoes on. Like, did somebody actually? Are they broadcasting? Oh my gosh!
I wasn't saying you should broadcast. I was saying you should receive the.
That's just the
signal from the hinterlands.
Either way, you're broadcasting.
Kilroy suggests, I'll just let you read it yourself for the full Kilroy effect.
Just move to Canada, dumbass. Do you know what's really funny? I kind of want to move to Vancouver. Vancouver is hotter than Seattle. And they're more north. Figure that one out. I'm kidding. But I could totally live in Vancouver. I've been there. It's West Coast. Vancouver is totally West Coast.
So you're not worried about the big earthquake and tsunami that may or may not come in the next 50 years?
You only live once. No, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I'm waiting for beachfront property to become cheap. Y'all can come visit me at my beach house. I'm serious. People I know have been moving. Someone I know owns a beach house, and a lot of people have been moving and stuff. And I'm like, I'll live there. Just give me warrant. No, I don't know how you would evacuate as many sewing machines as I have.
I find it amusing that you're not worried about your life, but you're worried about your sewing machines getting wrecked.
It's in my blood. When I was a kid, my brother, in 1989, he tried to run out of the house. There was an earthquake, and he tried to run out of his house with the Legos. It was never forgotten. He was sadly reminded of that all the time. And he was like older in 1989. He was like, of an age where he shouldn't have been playing with Legos anyways. Anyways, my whole point is
Well, there's a point when Legos become so advanced, they're like older kid and adult toys instead of kids' toys.
if I ever have a beach house, just kill me. I will have lost my mind so much where I will not, or I'm not myself anymore. Well, the only reason I ever have dreams about living in a beach house, I don't know. It's a weird dream I've always had. Either that or I watched Saved by the Bell Malibu Summer too many times. I'm kind of serious about that one. But then if you look in the area of Malibu, it's tiny, and you'd never want to live. Like, Malibu's tiny. It's beautiful, but it's nothing. It's really nothing but houses and really fancy restaurants.
I saw there was an actor who was talking about how it's a problem for the youth in Malibu because there's not really anything to do. So he was trying to put together some like youth programs and things. But the other people on the show did not take him seriously because they're like, yeah, life's rough in Malibu.
You say that, and I kind of agree with him, but I had a good friend who I grew up with who actually, in a weird way, introduced me into hockey as a kid. He moved to Malibu, and he was one of those people. And I know no one feels sorry for skinny people, rich people, people with good hair, tall people. I get it, but he had nothing to do except for surf. And you can only surf for so much, And what if you're not into surfing? He was into hockey. Legos are so expensive, they may as well be adult toys. They're considered adult toys now because of my brother's generation who'd never stop playing with them.
And they make some really expansive and intricate Lego things. It's not like just, here, kid, have a few bricks to play with. There was a Lego typewriter. I wanted it so much, but somebody else won the auction. It went for a lot.
I can't remember which space shuttle, but in Isaiah's room, he has one of the space shuttles. They actually had some really cool Legos. And Lego City was out of control. When Isaiah was into it, I really got into Legos. Like, Isaiah, that's the one thing that probably won't go into storage are his 9 tubs of Legos. I had fun. I'm gonna find that picture. I made a pyramid of Giza, and Isaiah and I lined up like 200 or 300 Lego dudes. He had a Lego table, and we took a picture. They were all like sitting there with their arms up. We had good times with Legos. We had good times.
You should break them out and do some more Legoing.
He grew up, and I like because he has ASD. I had an extra year and a half of the Cartoon Network. I had an extra 2 years of toys. So I'm not one of those people that looks a gift horse in the mouth. He grew up, and I was like, okay, we can grow up. Man, I was crying, just in full tears, like.
But maybe now he's old enough to enjoy revisiting the Legos.
And Gilroy brings up an extremely valid point. I've never gotten along with an HOA because I'm a loud neighbor. I have loud toys and I hoard things. So I've never in my life gotten along with HOA. So that's a very valid point.
I will be back. I'm going to make a coffee because I think it's time for another coffee, and make sure I don't have chicken in my tea.
Oh, whoops. All right, let me check my notes. I hope everybody's having an awesome Monday night. I started a little early this evening because I'm still a bit under the weather, but that's not going to stop me from sewing. I'm going for more complete outfits this year, so I'm trying to finish a project that I started a couple years ago. And this year I need to make more overalls. I definitely need to start making more overalls this year. Awesome. And I'm trying to bring color back, says the guy who's wearing all black right now. But I'm definitely trying to bring bright, exciting colors back, because the world's drabby enough. As I'm wearing all black. Oh, right. There was something else, but I can't remember. Perfect. Those pieces are cut. So what's everyone sewing this evening? How is everyone doing? What are you guys doing? What's going on? I'm still extremely under the weather, but I actually had a good time yesterday. Watching the Super Bowl. The game was decent enough where it caught my attention, so it wasn't as big a disappointment to me, even though I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. You may be bringing color back, but you aren't bringing. But you are bringing sexy back. Thank you, Kilroy. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sewing pillowcases. Awesome, Pam. Do you know what's really funny? Today, I was at Walmart and I was like, is it legal to buy new pillows? I make my own pillows. But every time I go there, like I have to weigh out, like, is it cheaper just to buy one of those $7 pillows, or is it cheaper just to buy a bunch of polyfill and make your own pillows? It's one of those weird things. I actually learned that from my grandmother because she would make her own pillowcases and pillows. That's awesome, Pam. I also make my pillows like so I make my pillows, how I want them. Extremely cushioned, extremely soft, and I have yet to find anything as humongous as I make, And that's the beautiful thing about making your own clothes, about just making things in general, is that you can make it to however you want it to. That's what I tell myself. Keep on looking for my rotary tool, which I don't know where it is. I'm making them for a friend. Awesome. That's awesome, Pam. Perfect. I needed more lining, so I went to my local Walmart, and it always makes me laugh how the people who work in the fabric department are never there when I need them. And I turn the corner and they're like, "Oh, hi, how's it going?" And I was like, it's always when I'm in a rush. You guys are, yeah. But I've already purchased everything I needed, but it just made me laugh. Perfect. Perfect. So I try to cut each side out piece by piece, but it doesn't always work out well. So trying to do it one by one this time. Perfect. Perfect. So I still have my overalls. I'm gonna go back to a lot of my older projects, and I'm gonna see if they still fit. I know that sounds funny to some people, but over the years, my weight has gone up, it's gone down, and there are certain projects where I put them on, and I'm like, oh, these do not fit at all anymore. So I'm gonna start going through everything and seeing if they fit anymore. Oh, whoops. Wrong button. I can hear Waternay's espresso machine. All right. So I'm going to continue to cut these pieces out. I'm almost done with these two. I'm so used to cutting out arm pieces that I'm like, oh, I'm forgetting about the arms. I'm not. A while ago, I made a sleeveless duster and I fell in love with it. And I wear that thing all the time. It's huge and it fits like a Snuggie. And for anyone who doesn't know what a Snuggie is, Snuggies were amazing inventions of a giant blanket that was turned into a jacket, hoodie, just a giant thing that you could loaf around on the couch.
You're making a blanket?
No, but did you ever give in to the Snuggie craze?
No.
I did.
But I do like things cozy, so I have blankets and
One of the reasons I love a Snuggie is because sometimes I just sit on the couch and the Snuggie makes a decision for you. It's full blanket. It is like you're just like, oh man, I'm cozy and I am slowly falling asleep in this thing. It's like a giant hug from a 8-foot Muppet.
I understand. I mean, I have cozy blankets, and heck, I'm using a heated footstool right now.
Those are oh my gosh. I know I told you, but I'm in denial and I need to say it out loud. My heater's dying.
Oh.
My heater is, and I just replaced my entire front bathroom as far as pipes and everything. So, all these things go bad at once.
How many Honda Accords is that going to cost you?
Oh, it's going to be a used car lot.
Ooh. Pam's making pillowcases.
He does know how to relax. Oh, if you with a Snuggie, are you kidding me, man? I'm one of those people where it's hard to get me to the couch, but when I get there, I'm out. Because I am an active person,
Mm-hmm.
If you give me a nice warm blanket, I'll pass out.
I just figured out why my heated footstool isn't heating. I didn't turn the power strip on. So Pam, tell us about these pillar. Wow. Tell us about these pillowcases. Are they pattern? Are they plain? What kind of fabric are they? Are you doing any embellishment? Are you just like, my friend, you need some pillowcases? Take these lovely fine cotton rectangles I've made. Like, what's the story?
Hey, I make all my pillows. Do not badmouth pillows.
I'm not.
I'm giving you a hard time. I do though. I really do. I learned that from my grandmother. I make all my own pillows.
Mm-hmm. I watched a whole Christine McConnell video where she did this like special kind of smocking, that you see on grandma type pillows. Well, depends on how old you are. That you used to see on grandma pillows back in the day. With the like gathered peaks and things like that all around the pillow.
I could actually grab one right now. Give me 2 seconds. I have one of my grandmother's old pillows. It's so flat and sad, but I sleep with that thing like this. Like
you should restuff it.
I don't want to mess with perfection though.
Oh, excuse me. Pam's making queen size white pillowcases. Well, that's nice. Because, a lot of times you get standard pillowcases or you get king size. And then if you've got sort of a medium sized pillow, it's either sticking out of the end or you have too much flapping on the end. So very nice. That's a nice gift, Pam. I made some years ago and they are wearing out, so he needed more. Well, excellent. Clearly you make a very good pillowcase. Put me on the list.
Oh, wow. This pillow I know for a fact, is older than I am. In my storage unit, I probably have and I'm not even saying this to be an exagerado, I probably have over 20 of these that my grandmother made. Look at that old stitch on there. When it rips, I don't even this thing is ripped. I don't even mess with it. This thing, she just flopped it over on each other and kept sewing. Look how sad this thing is. This thing is literally older than me. This thing probably saw its day when I was born. But yeah, my grandmother made this.
It's nice to have family treasures.
And because I took her whole house, so I have the whole treasure box.
Mm-hmm. See, no wonder you are out of space. In your house, you also have your dad's house and your grandmother's house.
Well, that's why I have a storage unit that's basically like an apartment of that. I have 2 or 3 houses in that storage unit. It's the size of a 2-car garage and it's filled to the brim.
Good gracious.
And if there is ever an earthquake, I will not be able to open that door. I'll tell you right now. If everything shifts to the front, they're going to have to cut that lock off. I'll tell you right now. I made poor decisions and packed that thing.
No wonder you pay so much for storage. That's it. Just buy yourself a nice loft. Warehouse.
I want to go season 3 MacGyver, because season 1 he was living in the top of the warehouse. Season 2 he was living in the boathouse. By the end of the series he was living in a warehouse in Venice, which by today's standards would be like you'd have to be a billionaire to live. Decide to add a horchata and a slice of tres leches cake to my order. Oh, Skids, you're making me hungry. Do you know what's really funny? My son asked me this morning if I get an accent when I say Spanish words, and I sat there and I was like, I don't know. Did you ever watch Married with Children? When they'd have that reporter, she'd be like, "This is Miranda," and she would like say this title of a name. I loved that. It always made me laugh.
I'm always kind of torn when it comes to foreign language words in English because, like, I feel like it does a disservice to completely mangle and Americanize them. But on the other hand, if you try to pronounce them properly, you either fail or you just sound pretentious. So it seems like no choice is a good choice when it comes to that.
There's a reason why, and I know why, but that is my exact reasoning. That is my exact reasoning. I told my son that much. Like, that is exactly what I said to him. Like, it depends on the situation.
At least you are Mexican. And so if you say things properly in Spanish, it sounds a little less pretentious than someone like myself just trying to make
Well,
it
no, because
improperly.
because I'm half and half, like, people can tell that English isn't my first language. The people that speak Spanish, they come to me, they're like, we can speak English, because they know immediately that English is my first language.
I figure if someone's putting up with my Spanish, their English must be really terrible. There are some gaping canyon-sized holes in my Spanish.
I tell people I speak TJ Spanish. That's the clean version of what I'll say on YouTube. I speak a very specific Spanish. And also, the people that taught me, like, my grandparents were from the old world. So the nomenclatures, the way that they speak, doesn't even exist anymore. People do not speak with that much respect anymore. The madas and que manda. Nobody talks like that. Nobody speaks with respect to each other like that.
Well, I did my Spanish study in a summer abroad in Spain. So I use whole tenses people don't even bother with.
And that's another thing, like,
Conjugations.
in Mexico, it's completely different. Like, they'll just talk to you. In Spanish, you got to be doing this with the damn. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Castilian is a completely different language. Awesome. Awesome.
Wow.
Making it as a fabric. Wow, that's awesome.
That's a nice gift for your friend.
Skits would get us both kicked out of the country if you said that out loud too many times.
Oh, I thought he was talking about his food order. No,
I know. A summer abroad in Spain, and you tell everybody you aren't bougie.
You know what it was? My grandmother had to go had to leave because of her green card and her health insurance and stuff. And my mother was a single mother and had to work. So she had to do something with me. And so I went to a study abroad for the summer because needed something to do.
Oh, Skits, thank you for getting that song stuck in my head now. It's from a South Park episode that apparently will never go away.
I have missed this one.
I don't even think I could sing it on the tube without somebody getting mad. Oh man.
Oh dear.
For the record, when my parents disappeared for summer, do you know where I went? I went to my grandmother's house, who lived 3 blocks from my parents' house.
I thought you went down to your other family in Mexico.
I did that as an adult. That's different.
Oh.
And I did, and that's different. Like we would go every summer as a kid, but we would never go into where the people actually lived. We go to the nice beachy tourist areas.
Mm.
You know, when I went by myself, I went to the place where, when you come back, they ask you, "Why did you go there? Why did you go there?"
If it makes any difference, Kilroy, I think part of it is because my mother was trying to keep me away from my abusive aunt who beat my cousin with the plug end of a lamp cord. I suppose there was the aunt on the other side of the country, but
Mexico is. I've been to Canada several times though, but to be fair, the first time I lived in Oregon and the second it was subsidized. Oh, now I have that wretched song it's stuck in my head. Thank you, Skits. Thank you.
I'm gonna have to look this up after.
It's
'Cause
awful.
the only South Park song I know is I don't know if I can say this on YouTube. The chocolate salty cakes, shall we say.
I haven't watched South Park in years. I watched their COVID special because it was on Paramount Plus, and I was really emotional. And I have to tell you, and I have to say this because this is what sensory deprivation does. I watched the Beavis and Butthead movie when they explained their hiatus, and I big cried at the end of the movie.
Oh no!
Big cry. I mean, like puffy face. I needed to sit down for 5 minutes. The Beavis and Butthead movie, because I was there and I was like, where did they go? And they did this whole thing, and I was like, not Beavis and Butthead. It made me cry. Then they like did this whole thing at the end of the movie and acted like nothing happened, and I was like, I started crying again. You were crazy and broke when you were in Canada, though. That's different. That's true. Canada's fun, and people are really nice in Canada. Don't Look Up will ruin you forever. I have not seen that. I have not. Is it that bad or what? I have not seen that.
The taco kisses? I don't know.
Hey, everybody, have you ever seen my... Oh, God. I know where that's from. Oh, Skits. Oh, thank you. Don't forget to tip your waiter and waitress on your way out. Thank you. Thank you. That's good old Don Rickles. When I was a kid, I used to watch all that stuff, and every time Don Rickles told a really bad joke, he'd be like, don't forget to tip your waitress. Like, he would remind the audience, like, look, these are the jokes, guys, okay? Like, you came to see me. I'm bombing right now. Ah. Taco. Oh, now it's stuck in my head. Oh, no, I have not seen that movie. I was actually it was Don't Look Up and something else. I watch a lot of stuff where people talk philosophy about life or they comment on society. And so I was actually watching a video of somebody who commented on both of those movies, but I have not seen them.
I saw a video last night about beaver being introduced and having been discovered. I think some rebel oh good heavens, ecologists let some beaver out stealthily, but they were talking about beaver and how it was helping the wetlands and things in England. It was delightful. For things that are not traumatizing, we're talking.
I think I need to watch Don't Look Up. You know what it is I live I think as most people There are just certain things that you forget to watch. Like, have you seen The Color Purple? The new one?
No,
Are you going to?
probably not.
I liked the original. It makes me as somebody. Okay, hold on. Let me switch my screen because brace yourself. I'm gonna start talking about Newsies. As somebody who loves musicals and still like watches Newsies, the new Wicked is coming out. I'm gonna be in the front row. But there's just certain things that I was shocked that people didn't know The Color Purple was a musical. You need to watch it like 3 times to catch everything. Oh, okay, awesome. I will. I need a new movie. Like I said, I'm always in a show hole. Even though Halo's back, but I'm already caught up, so I'm in a show hole again. Awesome. But I actually have seen the new Color Purple, and it's a musical, and it's not a happy movie, and I liked it.
Yeah, that's what's stopping me from watching it. She had a hard life, and I don't know that I want to sit through her hard life for.
It doesn't read as long as the original. For some reason, the original felt longer. It's because, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I was younger when I saw it. It just didn't feel as long. The movie didn't feel as long. Or maybe they made the movie for, people with shorter attention spans. I don't know. I'm down. I need new stuff to watch. All right, let me switch this thing because I sit down, and because I don't feel well, I'm like, I'm going to plant myself here.
Oh, that sounds like fun, Pam.
Did you ever watch the television? Was it the television show?
Oh goodness, with Linda Hamilton and Ron Perlman.
Am I aging myself?
I mean, that was very much of its era, 1980s.
Was it really in the 80s?
Yep.
Why does it not? Oh man, I remember watching that on television every episode.
I really liked the clothes that the tunnel people wore. They were great.
I'm not getting over. I thought it was from like the early 90s.
Mm-mm.
I was waiting. Skits. Oh, thank you, Skits. It's been a while since you've been around to rub my face in it. I'm only a few years older than you are. Wow, I remember watching because it was a big deal when it came out. So I remember watching it. I used to watch Dukes of Hazzards in the 80s. Fun fact, they filmed a lot of Dukes of Hazzard in my town. A lot. Because my town, where were they supposed to be from?
Someplace everyone had a country accent. I can't remember. AKA
the hills of Burbank, California. They filmed, like, when I watch all those old movies, all the old John Wayne movies, all of them were in Burbank, in the hills. There's houses now, but all those movies were filmed where it was Burbank, California. Tahunga, which used to look like the Wild Wild West, which is all houses now.
Now we need to look it up. When was, because I know that Beauty and the Beast was late 80s, but when did Dukes of Hazzard come out? For some reason, I thought that came out in the 70s. But
those shows had long runs, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then reruns, and, it was on for a while.
I was like, they filmed Chips in my town, and I laugh every time because it makes me laugh when they finished the freeway. They would film Chips on the unfinished parts of the freeway. And
Makes sense.
it's a giant corridor now. But every time I see it, it makes me laugh so hard. And it's still on TV. I started watching TV around 82. Oh, now I have the Chips theme stuck in my head. Da-na-na-na-na. Those, my feeling about theme songs. Between Magnum PI and Chips, those were some bangers back in the day. Like, those were amazing songs. If you're bored, look up the Magnum PI theme song and you will rock out. Da-na-na-na, ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, ba-na-na. Just a great song. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, never watched Chips. I think you'd like it because it's right on that, like, it's 80s, but it's of the ilk of Hawaii Five-0, of like, it's awesome. And I'm really showing my age. I have a picture of myself with Eric Estrada, somebody who I'm not going to say because it's just a person of controversy now, and also Mr. T.
All right. Quite
Yesterday,
the 80s lineup.
when I saw Mr. T in the commercial yesterday, I was like, Mr. T made me want to cry. He still looks good for his age. He still looks so good. And he's still wearing the chain. He tried to rock. That was painted. Half of his frohawk was painted because he doesn't have any hair up here anymore. I love Mr. T. I'm biased. Spent 8 days in the hospital in 1982, and Dukes of Hazzard was all I wanted to watch. That's awesome. That's when I was a kid, I was hospitalized, and it was a weekend, and it had a Stargate marathon. And it's one of the reasons why I'm obsessed with that show. Well, I was already in love with it, but I saw every episode that weekend.
I saw a video. I mean, I didn't watch the video, but I saw that there was a video where they were talking, this was like 8 months ago, about doing a Stargate reboot, but I hadn't heard anything about it then, and I haven't heard anything about it since.
Well,
do you know anything about a Stargate reboot?
How much down the geeky rabbit hole do you want to go?
Well, why do you think I'm asking you?
Joe Flanagan, the guy who was in Stargate Atlantis, who played John Shepard, he's attempted to buy the series. And him and this guy that no one knows about named Jason Momoa keep on trying to buy the series because they were in Stargate Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
And that show was actually successful, and they canceled it right at the height of their success. They made the Sci-Fi Channel what it was. There's an episode, I know I'm a geek, but there's an episode called Vegas. It's like the second or third to last episode of the series. That night when it aired, they beat out everybody. They had millions and millions and millions of views on the Sci-Fi Channel, you know? So they're trying to bring it back, but every time they've tried, it's kind of stunk. Corin Nemec of Parker Lewis Rules? From that show, Parker Lewis Rules. Corin Nemec was in one season. He was in season 5. I know I'm a bit of a geek. And he had a spinoff where they were trying to do a prequel, and it was terrible. And I will say that live on YouTube as someone who is a lifetime Stargate fan. Their reboot was terrible. And I own it. If you ever get bored, we can watch it. What they do is they get actors in it that and you're like, this is going to be good. And it was awful. It was awful. But that's like with most remakes, it's hit or miss, you know? And just because you have the money, Corin Nemec tried to do a Star Trek reboot before Discovery and everything. And it was okay. I'm trying to be supportive.
The Sci-Fi Channel did some weird cancellations.
They should have kept Stargate going for its 13th season, and they canceled Stargate. They had a good storyline going. They gave them 2 movies that no one watched. Expanse, they dropped the ball with The Expanse.
At least The Expanse got picked up by somebody else.
True. Oh.
The Expanse was really good.
Oh, sorry, Pam.
Yeah, she's been saying.
Is that weird for a 4-year-old? No, no way. No way at all. When I was a kid, there's a reason why I can quote like everything from a certain era. When I was a kid, I was quarantined for 5 months in my room. I had mono. I read every book I got my hands on. I don't know if anyone remembers the old Law and Order. I would watch, and TBS, that's all they would show in TNT. It was like TNT would show one era and TBS would show another era. I watched Law and Order obsessively for like a year, you know. And I was 12 or 13, however old you are in junior high.
I saw an interview with what's her name from Dukes of Hazzard, and she said, "I was always modest. I wore pantyhose under my Daisy Dukes."
I don't even know where to begin with that.
Modest.
Yeah. I know. I wonder where Joy is. Joy, wherever you are, you're missed.
Hi, Joy. If you're watching later, or if you're watching but can't come on, hello.
You know, and I know people have lives. I actually live in YouTube. When this shuts off, I just sit here like this. My battery comes out. Actually, I go in a closet over here like Small Wonder. There's actually a closet, and Isaiah just kind of wheels me in there and puts me in there. I said, "All right, old man, we'll pull you out for your next live stream." Small Wonder. Now that was so that's how you lock yourself in the sewing room for 5 months at a time. You got plenty of practice. Oh, when I was a kid, I learned what quarantine was. So when the pandemic came, I was laughing. People were like, "Oh, we're gonna be trapped in the house." I was like, I've been hoarding books. I've been hoarding for this my whole life. Like, I'm ready to hide in the house. I had every movie, every book. But sorry, go ahead.
I had been really, really sick. One of my health issues, right before. And so I had just spent like 3 months shut in my house, unable to do anything. And I finally like dragged myself to the movies with a friend of mine. And she's like, "Yeah, we're going to be in lockdown." I'm like, "Wait, what? I just finally left the house."
That's the worst.
Pam says, "Rosie from the Jetsons." Talking about closets.
I loved that show. I know the younger generation went back and noticed a few things. Like there was no one that looked like me that lived there. I don't care, man. I was a young child who watched that show. I loved the Jetsons. I loved that show. That and the Flintstones. Lockdown didn't change my life. That's just the kind of life I have.
I understand.
It taught me a lot about the people around me, though, because a lot of no, you know what? It's a non-political show.
La 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 la. Okay. Lined vest.
I had to make sure. What's that?
I said, "Did you wash that fabric?" I'm changing the subject very obviously.
Yo no entiende English. I'm singing you. I don't speak English in the tune of Copacabana.
Mm.
Yo no entiende.
Pero cada tiempo que quiero hablar en español, no hablas conmigo.
The under stuff, no, the Walmart stuff. Some of this, I can't say it's not washable. It will wash, but it fades immediately. Does that help?
So did you say that you're doing a seam down the back, like 2 back panels, or are you doing one full back panel?
One full back panel. I want like man, I haven't said this in a while, but I'm also like, because I'm making overalls, I'm trying to make this also like lounge wear kind of, something that you could wear to completely cover yourself to the pool. You know what I'm saying? I used to hang out back. Let's have a talk. Back before the pandemic, I actually had a life, and I would go hang out. Back when I used to do sit-ups, I would go hang out at Vegas pools and show off the stuff that I would make during the weekend. I'm not kidding you. And I would wear a lot of my jackets and stuff at the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just awesome to wear just with my, with being covered, but all you have on is your shorts underneath.
Mm-hmm.
But keep in mind, I also live in a place where it gets to be 100 and something, So it's not rare for people to dress like that around here. I haven't gone to a Vegas pool, though, in a while. Do they have a dad bod section?
I don't know. The last time I went to Vegas, I was not staying at any kind of fancy place, and I was the only one at the pool, which probably was not the safest place to be swimming, but I was desperate.
What sketchy hotel are you? Vegas is scary. There are some places where I would not stay in Vegas.
Oh no, I meant it's not safe to swim alone, not because I didn't feel safe to be at the location. So I didn't mean to confuse things.
There's a lot of weird conversion hotels where you can see people turn like old apartments into hotels and stuff in Vegas. It just gives me a weird vibe.
I don't know. That doesn't seem like a good way to deal with the housing crisis. But then people also need places to stay when they go to Las Vegas.
It's different because Vegas is all about tourism. So downtown Las Vegas is different than Northern Vegas. Northern Vegas is just like any other city.
Mm-hmm.
But, Las Vegas is where debauchery lives.
What kind of fabric is that?
This is good old Walmart material, and underneath is the lining that I got from Walmart as well.
And what kind of, is it like are you using more of the outdoor canvas you sometimes use? Is this a poly? Like what?
It's a weird poly mix of that, but this is indoor use, it said.
So is it when you say mix, is it a poly cotton blend or is it a?
No, it's synthetic.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm just asking because I'm thinking about, how they wash together, and I'm just thinking about what you're making. I'm just inquiring as to your make.
I don't know whether to sing Footloose or Copacabana to you.
You don't have to sing either. I'm just trying to know what you're doing over there. It was a sincere and genuine question about your craft.
Oh, I know, but I'm the king of distractions. I get this feeling that something's holding me down. I hit the sea. I'm gonna cut every time that I sing that song.
Why are you trying to distract me from telling me about your project? I thought we were all here to learn about your project.
I wouldn't feel comfortable going to an apartment that's been converted into a hotel. And then again, I feel weird into anything fancier than the Super 8. Oh, you'd love Vegas. Vegas is one giant Super 8. You would love it. All smells like cigarettes and bad decisions, anyways. Singing Copa. Barry Manilow needs some love.
Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl.
I miss karaoke. I just don't have. Ever since I quit drinking, I'm not that brave anymore. Whiskey lied to me and made me think that I could sing.
Oh no,
And then
that's rude.
And then I quit drinking and realized that I couldn't hold a tune. I think it provided me with the proper bravery to sing.
Someone I know posted a story of him singing karaoke, and he did an excellent job. But he posted on there. He said, "If you're shy, karaoke is a great thing to do to make friends." I'm like, wait, what? No. If you're shy, you don't want to be singing in front of people.
It really depends on the crowd, though. Like, I've been by some really supportive crowds, and I've been booed. So it just depends on the crowd. Like, because you get regulars that, like, are those weird people who can really sing, but, like, you know.
Well, that's still no reason to go booing somebody. That's rude.
And then I think I can tell the story. And you know what's so funny? A lot of people don't like this guy, but he was awesome to me. I was singing karaoke at a bar in my gosh, this was like 13 years ago. But if I mess up his name, I'm gonna need your help. It's the guy from 90210, the young one who can actually really sing. David, no, what's his name? Oh, I can't remember now. He married Megan Fox.
Austin Taylor Green. Did he marry?
Walked up to me. I sang November Rain because I was in a bad place in my life, and that man he gave me so much respect. He's a nice guy, and he was in my local dive bar in my town 14 years ago. He was the nicest man to somebody who was almost singing and crying at the same time.
Oh no.
So David Austin Green is an awesome dude. I lived in Vegas from 2018 to 2010. I liked it. Always something to do. I up until the pandemic, I would go there all the time. All the time. For that very reason. Brian Austin Green, thank you.
Yeah, I think I said Austin Taylor. That wasn't right.
He because after I sang my song, this guy showed up and I'm like, who's this tall guy that can really sing? And he's talking to me, we're chopping it up, and my friend keeps on elbowing me. I'm like, stop elbowing me. And she's like, do you know who you're talking to? And I'm like, no, I do not. He looked just like everybody else, and I'm not even trying to be mean, but like he looked like everybody else in the bar. Nice guy though. If you sing November Rain and mean it, you're about one bad day away from jumping off a bridge. It got so bad at that place where like I would sneak in, put a 5 in the jukebox. I would program all the songs that everybody liked, and then I'd slip November Rain in there. Oh, I was known by that song. Oh, I was having a bad year. But I haven't been to that bar in almost like 13 years. Now I sit at home, do live streams, and sing Footloose.
Well, it's certainly more chipper.
Yeah, dive bars aren't. They're not the most notoriously happy places. No, especially the one by my house. It is the saddest place on earth. When people are telling stories, like I'm not kidding you. I was there one night and this guy was talking about the state championship in 1978. And I was like, oh, it's time to go home. It's time for me to go home. I've got this feeling. Oh, right. How are you feeling though, physically? Because there is stuff going around. But you're smart though. I forgot. You're the smart one of the pack.
Well, I have some help to keep me out of places that might make me sick, but I don't know. I sneezed twice last night, I don't tend to sneeze normally, so I take that as an early warning sign.
You sneezed twice? You sneezed twice?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a 5 or 6 sneezer at a time. It's torture. When I'm on my 9th sneeze, I'm like, come on! I'm like yelling at myself, like, what's wrong with me? I'm like, sneezing is awful. When it's the worst. Even my son was like, you're strange. He's like, you're strange. I let off like a party favor.
Oof.
Oh yeah. That's how I know I'm not feeling well, and I'm just like it's the worst.
Oof. I had some energy Thursday, so I got my desk to a better place, which was good and necessary. So I was glad I had the energy for that, but it did kind of wear me out. I did too much, and then I hurt from head to toe. But I was glad it was done. I don't know if that was what had me sneezing last night, or my mom makes these really I don't know. Sounds like they would tear her throat up or something. She's like, "Chew!" And it's like this high pitched, screechy kind of noise when she sneezes.
It is the strangest thing how every single human being has a different chime when they sneeze. Excuse me. I found the more I try to hold it in, the higher pitch it comes out. But let's be real though. For a guy, I have a bit of a higher voice, so I expect something high pitched to come out. I actually deepen my voice because I really talk like this.
I mean, I wouldn't call you a basso profundo or anything, but I don't think that you have a high voice.
Oh, I do.
It's just a regular voice.
I've actually no. You know what it is? It's just I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Everybody has a lot of people tell me that I don't sound how I look, which I do not know how to take.
Kilroy says,
Oh, go ahead.
Kilroy says, my medication makes me cough too, but I've been coughing more than usual. Uh-oh. Doesn't sound good, Kilroy. Don't get sick. You can't be getting sick right now. You're getting some other things sorted out.
You know what? I got to clean up first. I've been doing really well. I'm on my 11th bag, 55-gallon bag of scraps.
Are you going to do anything with these scraps?
Yeah, I'm going to make my parachute, and you guys are all going to eat your words when I'm on whatever news is in your local area. And they're like, today, some local Yahoo jumped out, and on the back of his parachute, it said, ha, 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 I made this at my house. When you do things like that, you don't self-promote. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm not going to dignify that with any more of a response than this.
Tonight I'm gonna cut loose, foot loose, kick off his Sunday shoes, please, Louise. I always wondered about that. That's the oh, of course it's cutting out. My signal is cutting out at the good part.
Oh, I can
No,
click here.
YouTube, it's telling me that my signal's fading away, but I expect that because I have Spectrum.
Hmm.
Do you know when I see their commercials, I'm that crazy guy talking to his TV like, I know you are lying.
Did you see the Footloose remake?
No.
I didn't bring myself to watch it, and I don't know if I'm just like, missing out, if it was amazing, or if I would just be disappointed.
You watched the MacGyver remake, didn't you?
I did.
What did you think about it?
Well, okay, two things. The first is that I didn't watch a lot of the original MacGyver, so I wasn't especially tied to a certain kind of thing. But the remake, I don't know. It was okay. I watched it, but I didn't by any means think that it was like top-notch television.
As somebody who watches all the old school shows, I have not watched the MacGyver remake. And because I'm literally dragging my chair, and because of Paramount Plus, I'm able to watch the original. So I have now seen every episode of MacGyver.
I'll have to go back and watch the originals.
It's so sad, but it has that like 1980s hokey resolution at the end of every episode.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fulfilling. And you know what's so funny? These shows are only an hour and they take you on adventures. Like, open up with something and it's completely different than the entire episode you're watching,
Mm-hmm. They
thought about those back in the day. Footloose was a mistake the first time. I can't believe they remade it. Have a fun night, everyone. I'm going off. I'm in a later time zone. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great night. I'll be if I do not finish this on stream, you'll definitely be getting a I can't sleep video. I don't know if it's that kind of night. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yay, thank you for stopping by, ZF Beauty. Awesome. I have Footloose just blasting in my head right now. It's because I go looking for positive things. It's not like I'm not putting my head in the sand. I know where I am. I know what's going on around the world, but I choose to look for more positive things,
Mm-hmm.
Things that make. That's why I put on Footloose the other day and I was like, oh, this is right up my alley.
Yeah, I find that it's like, okay, I've read the news articles, I know what's going on, and now I need to not focus on that for a bit. And I need to not focus on anything like remotely serious or realistic or
I am like that. And there's a difference between I know what's going on, but I'm not gonna I don't know. There's just a difference. So I choose to try to fill my life with things that make me happy.
Mm-hmm.
That put a smile on my face. And it's led me on some weird rabbit holes. Like there's comedians I found that I didn't even know existed, people out there, just all kinds of different worlds,
Is that excuse me, I think I have a mosquito under my iPad. Oh no, now it flew away. Great.
It's so funny you would say that. I recently got the paper. They're gonna start spraying my neighborhood again for that weird like the state of California agriculture department has been going overtime the past 2 or 3 years.
Hmm.
And they sent another letter because they're spraying for that weird ganga. I call it a ganga fly. That's not what it is. But like in Caribbean islands, they call that's what they call fly. So if you're annoying, they'll be like, stop being a ganga fly.
I saw a video. People were talking about Nigerian expressions. And there were two that made me laugh, and one of them was, what was it? Something about I won't say she's stupid, but she's running away from wisdom and she's winning or something like that. I'll have to look it up and post. It had me giggle. The person, it's like on trustworthiness, and it says, well, one out of every group, 1 out of 12 is a Judas.
Oh, what are you stuck on? No, I just have that song stuck in my head. Were you ever a Lady Gaga fan? And I preface that with I was not, didn't even really know she existed until I got on the internet.
I mean, I think that she writes a lot of good songs. I like some of her songs are catchy and fun to sing along with. There was one album that came out and I didn't care for it at all. But so I'm not a fan, but I'm not a fan.
I always find it interesting of like, where's that cutoff of like, are there any newer artists that you're into? Well, you're all up on it because you know about no metal and all that weird stuff. That plagued my playlist.
Know how that popped up in my feed. Oh my goodness.
YouTube was like, all right, okay, playlist.
I would like to be more up on modern music than I am, but I do like, if something catches my ear, I go and look it up and see what it is. And
same,
you know, because I don't want to be one of those people who, you know, never, their album collection never left high school.
But like, okay, there's a difference though, and I'll tell you, I stopped I told you from 1999 until my son was born, I didn't watch television. I really wasn't into music. Still to this day, every time I hear that song, I got soul, but I'm not as. People think I'm so lame. I love that song. I wasn't around when it was popular.
Yeah.
I love that stupid song. And my son is like, this is lame. I'm like, this is the greatest song ever. And he's like, you were alive when this came out. And I was like, I was doing stuff with my life. I was backpacking. I was doing all those stereotypical things. In the way of modern music, I like Canadian singer. She calls herself Lights. It's electro pop, EDM, that kind of thing.
All right.
See, I need new stuff like that. But because I missed a giant chunk of certain eras, like some of my playlist is in from other people's high school time.
I mean, I don't.
Or like that song I always play that that I don't even want to see the I Follow Rivers. Every time I listen to it on YouTube, I look at the comments and they're like, high school 2008 or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I was grown when this song came out, but because I was out traveling, I never knew it existed. So when I heard it, I was like, this is the greatest song ever. Man, people had it already come and gone for other people, you know.
I don't mind, I still enjoy listening to music that's older. Like I don't avoid it just because it's old or just because, it played when I was in middle school or high school or whatever. But I like music, and so I enjoy trying to find new music that I haven't heard and new artists. And
I'm like that too. It really depends though. And that's one thing though. I try not to close my mind. So if I hear something that's good, I'm not going to say, "Oh, this is modern," or "Oh, this isn't my genre." I'll listen to anything as long as it sounds good. I still watch KCET Arts where they show music videos in the middle of the night of operas, and like I still love that. You know. And then I'll watch the old school. They have UMTV Raps on Paramount Plus now. You couldn't keep me on the farm when I found that out. Talk about I sat there for a day. I relived high school. I sat there and watched it.
It's interesting how some music is so evocative of like a certain time and place in your life. It's like shorthand. Someone will say a song and you're like, oh yes, and all the memories come flooding back of where you were and what you were doing and what kind of clothes you wore. And debuted on 78. At first when I read that, I thought it said debuted in 78. Nice.
It's really sad, but when Vanilla Ice came to my town, do you know, it was really sad. You could tell everybody that was over 40 when he started singing ninja rap. There were grown people standing up with their kids like ninja rap. Like it was sad. It was sad. We were all reliving the past. And when he started singing Ice Ice Baby, everybody was like nudging their kids, like, "Hey, I remember when this came out, kid." Everyone's like elbowing there. It was so sad. I was there, and half my town showed up for Vanilla Ice too. But to be fair, they did the same for Los Lobos and Willie Nelson, and who else? There was somebody else.
I saw an interview that said that Vanilla Ice is very kind to his fans. Like people go to see, hang out and see him after the show by the exit or the whatever. And he always makes sure to say hello to everybody.
He walked into the crowd. He I know I say this and I get in trouble sometimes. Like, because I've met a lot of people I don't necessarily agree with their politics. He's a man of the people. And don't get me wrong, he was walking up to everybody's mom. It's not like he's a humanitarian. I'd be doing the same thing. I get it. I'd be doing the same thing. But he stood there and made sure that everybody got a hug, got a signature. And he walked out to the main crowd to where even the cops were like, we can't do anything, So I give him respect. And, well, Willie Nelson was different. He was weird. He was just kind of standing there, and I was smoking it, and like it was weird because he was in the parking lot. I walked up to him and he talked to me. So Willie Nelson's another one who's not. He's a real human, But then I met Triple H, and he was rude. And this guy named Lenny Kravitz shushed me. So, it's not always a home run.
I'm not falling into that. Oh, I see you broke out the serger for this one.
It won't shush me like Lenny Kravitz did.
That'll give you a nice finished seam. I mean, I'm not a fan of the serge seams, but a lot of people find them very professional looking.
I have fallen in love. It's changed my sewing. Do you know what's funny? Having a serger has completely changed my sewing 100%.
I've heard that from some other YouTube videos. They're like, oh, and this is a game changer. was, this changed my sewing from this to this when I got a serger.
I like combining serging and using my sewing machine, but for certain projects, you can just use your serger. I don't feel well, so I'm not as lightning fast as I normally am, but it does help speed up the process as well.
It does have the time advantage, and it keeps things from fraying. Pam says, I've been using my serger for the pillowcases.
Awesome.
That's good because they get a lot of like tugging and wear and tear, so that'll give it extra strength. So when you say you're making a long vest, how long is long? Ooh. Nice. It's good that it's big because that shows off the large scale of the print on the fabric.
And also when it folds in, it doesn't look as big. It's the strangest thing. And now I have that video from last night in my head. I have to check her channel, but I watched this young lady who I think is the exact same age as I am. She lives on the East Coast. She is the East Coast version of me, but a lot classier. And she bought an entire Joann's.
Oh, you've mentioned her. What channel is that?
I have to look her up because she will go from like not posting to all of a sudden posting. We are kindred spirits. But like, and to anyone, anyways, she it's like, I watch her all the time too. It's like something, it's my so lounge or something.
Oh, is that okay? I didn't know that was the one that bought I just watched her video on pressing seams.
That was the video I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
That was the total like guilt video of here's a reminder for the millionth time of why your stuff doesn't look as good as it used to. Oh. What is it? It's Monday. Do you know, not feeling good really kicks me in the cans. Because I'm like, I'm going to take a break. But then like an hour from now, I'm just going to come back and do this anyways.
I find that restless phase very difficult to deal with when I'm too exhausted to actually do something, but I'm feeling well enough to have the desire to do something. And it's just, it's annoying because you're stuck. You can't do anything because you're too tired, but you're so tired of like sitting around.
And I'm tired of being at like half energy.
Mm-hmm.
Or putting my boots on. I'm just like, breathing heavy after putting my boots on.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know what though, it comes with the territory. All right, I'm gonna give myself a quick break. I might do after the stream. Let's hang out a little bit. That's what we're here for. So when hanging out, I am on fire hot too. I think that's what it is.
Have you spent any time lying down with your feet up?
What's this foreign thing you talk about laying vertically?
Maybe you should park yourself on the couch, dadgummit, and catch up on some YouTube or Star Trek or something so that you can feel better.
I prefer to push myself in extremely unhealthy ways, and I am so excited that I got that needlecraft book though. The funny thing is that the funny thing about style is that it comes back. So everybody thinks I'm crazy, but I want to be up on the curve in 2030 when everyone starts dressing like it's the 1960s again.
Mm. But then also you learn these techniques and then you can put your own spin on them. And when people say,
True.
how did you do that? You'll say, well, let me tell you this book.
That's like that book I have from 1960s that talks about sorcerer's cuffs and like Jimi Hendrix shirts. They called a shirt a Jimi Hendrix shirt. And like that big wizard cuff, they call it the sorcerer cuff. I would have never known that if it wasn't for that old book.
I like sleeve, different kinds of sleeves. Whether it's, 3/4 like this or a big poofy sleeve or open cuff.
It depends, but I definitely like that style. And I like learning different styles. I look back at a lot of my original stuff, like my overalls. I would try more because I didn't know. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. Because now I have all these parameters in my head of, oh, I shouldn't do this or make this mistake. Because I'm so pattern driven now. I think I'm gonna go back to my wild west of sewing.
I think also, like, for example, with the Mimi G pattern, you like it and it gives you lots of opportunity to show off your fabric. And so it ends up being a go-to for you. And it's like, okay, I know that it should be this dimensions and I do this and this. And so
And I do it while sleeping.
Yeah. And so then you end up not experimenting so much because the other is so familiar to you.
Yeah, now I have Inspector Gadget's closet. And I need to I need to expand myself. Maybe I should start dressing like Dr. Claw. He just had a giant metal claw. No one knew in a really nice chair.
I don't know who Dr. Claw is, but
he was the villain in Inspector Gadget.
I used to watch Inspector Gadget, so maybe I just didn't watch it enough. I don't know.
Well, I have the benefit of a rewatch because my son, I had a refresher's course when my son was younger. And it was different because when he was like a grommet, when he was little, he's like, I want to watch cartoons. I'd say, okay. I put it on the original Danger Mouse.
I'm sorry, it cut out for me. The original what?
Danger Mouse. He would sing the theme song. And then when I put on the new one, he looked at me and he's like, what's this? We watched all the good stuff when he was younger. And we watched all the Inspector Gadgets. And back before Netflix got ruined by privatization, all of that stuff was on Netflix. All of it.
Yeah, the streaming services forget what it was that made the streaming service popular in the beginning. It had the stuff.
It was like a time machine. I could show my son stuff I watched from when I was a kid. We watched the original G.I. Joe. That was hard because it was choppy. And then I realized how much of a kid I was when I watched the original G.I. Joe. The later episodes were easier to watch, but those original episodes were choppy. And they would like there were certain characters that would say things and I'm like, oh, that's stereotypical, man. That's like weirdly stereotypical. But you don't realize it when you're watching it. You're a kid.
Yeah. And it's hard too, because like there's some things where you make broad strokes about, some background thing and so that you can further the storyline or whatever, but when you start to make broad strokes, then you fall into tired stereotypes and worse racist,
but where's that line
stereotypes?
Where's that line of something, it exists, it already happened, and this is something that's stereotypical,
Yeah.
I really don't know where that line is anymore.
A lot of it for me too depends on like the feeling or the vibe or the intention. You know, if they're using a stereotype and it's negative, then I have more, or like using it in a negative way or as a criticism, then I have a lot more problem with it than just sort of a general sketch or outline of something.
Have you seen Wicked?
I have not.
You haven't seen? Have you seen there was a? You haven't seen the play or the movie, huh?
No. Do they
They're
is the
coming out with a new
Society of
one.
Green People maligned in that?
No, they're coming out with a new one.
Mm.
And well, I'll tell you off stream. There was quite a few movies that they were advertising for during the Super Bowl, and I was like, I'll probably watch this. I won't watch this.
Mm.
There was a Planet of the Apes they were advertising for. I was like, I probably won't watch this.
A sequel or a reboot?
It's a reboot, but how many Planet of the Apes reboots have they made already?
Well, they oh goodness. They restarted the series and they made like several movies of that series, but did they
Well, the original, they had the Charlton Heston movie.
yeah.
Then
And they
Roddy
made
McDowell, then the actor Roddy McDowell is the one who made all the movies. He was in all the 1970 reboots, all the strange ones that they made. And I think they're doing that now, basically.
were they like, was it just like sequels or did they restart it? Because I thought that the newer ones had been like a restart and sequels, or am I incorrect? Did they like started several times? Did they?
They have many different versions of it because they have one where they brought the apes to Earth. They had ones where like it was the 1970 ones were a total social commentary. So they had quite a few of them.
Mm-hmm. But
They're
they were
actually
all
quite
kind
deep.
of in the same universe, right?
Yeah, they're actually extremely deep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. These ones are more dark than deep. I don't know. I've watched quite a few of them. I just have lost my interest.
Mm.
When I watched that Tarzan reboot, I didn't like it. And I own it. I bought it in like the $5 Blu-ray bin.
I saw one that I liked that was when Tarzan was back in modern times, and I think it was set in New York, and it was Travis Fimmel from like Vikings and stuff. He played
Okay.
Tarzan. And he was out there was it like a crime solving thing too?
I have not seen Tarzan the Sleuth. I have not seen it.
I feel like he kept getting involved in like, he'd stumble upon people doing crimes, and then there was the lady who was trying to figure out like, okay, who was Tarzan, and what was his background and all this about, because he'd been presumed dead and all that. That was I think my introduction to parkour, as he's like leaping across cars and things. I'm like, wow, this is awesome.
So Isaiah, he had a speech impediment as a child, and I think I did as well. So the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. But I'll never forget when he was trying to introduce it to me. I'm like, "What is?" He's a parkour. What is parkour? Parkour. What is it? Parkour. What is it? And I did not understand what he was saying. And then we sat there for weeks and watched those videos. Weeks.
Do you watch
Oh, I miss when he's a little guy.
Storer? Do you watch Storer's YouTube channel? Oh, I think I showed you one of their videos. The film that they did where they're escaping from prison.
Yes.
They're so good.
Now I just have the Magnum PI theme song just blasting in my head. All right, we've been going for 2 hours. I'll go for a little bit longer, but I don't think I'm gonna finish this evening.
Mm.
But it's been a while since I've had a good. I'm gonna finish this off stream video. But seriously, I want to thank all of my new subscribers. I'm all over the place. I am the definition of pirate sewing, but the one thing I am is a real human, and I thank every single one of you because regardless, you'll get me. I call myself no. It started off as godless sewing. Now it's my so-called life, and I thank everybody. It's been quite a ride, and we're still going. Last year, my son was in kindergarten and has a friend named Phoenix, but had trouble saying it. Always sounded like something else. I love that. I love that. I miss that. I miss those days of like, what'd you say? Say that again. Is the L's so all over the place, like oh, I miss those days. Parkour. Because he'd be jumping all over the couch. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm doing parkour, Dad. What do you think I'm doing? I'm trying to hurt myself. Parkour. See, that's the parent in me where I'm like, oh, those people did not stretch. Do you know, I still do this in videos. Like when some of those videos, when those guys are jumping off buildings and stuff, I'm like, oh no. Oh, no.
Yeah, some of them I can't watch because it's just too much. I don't need, if things go badly, I don't need death to be what's going to happen.
Isaiah, they really don't have too many of those out there. Like, because we used to really watch a ton of those videos, and 99.9 of it is they're showing the success.
Well, no, I'm not talking about like watching somebody die, which would be bad enough, but I just have trouble watching like, oh yeah, we're running along this ledge and then we're gonna leap 20 feet to this building over there. Like,
oh yeah,
that's too much for me.
No, I agree with you. It was weird when I was younger. I was that person who was doing all that stuff, and I have gone full Captain Kirk, where I'm sitting here drinking it's coffee, my version of Earl Grey. That's how it should be, though. You do all the fun stuff while you can when you're young. I had better insurance back then. I'm going to be cleaning out my fabric stash. It's a mess. It's become a mess again. And I've been cleaning, and I found that flower fabric that I bought from Modella Man that I completely forgot. Like, there's a ton of stuff that I have that I've forgotten about.
Mm.
So I need to clean up my stash.
All right.
And I was going to do it, but then every time I walk over there, I'm like, why did I do this to myself? And then I grab what I need on top and walk and run away, hoping there's not a fabric avalanche.
I need to clean out my fabric stash too, but I have a pretty small fabric stash.
I'm
compared to.
I'm ridiculous. But I got kind of organized. Let's see if you can see it down there. Do you see these? So from that patch all the way down, it's fabric.
Okay.
With a silver plated platter underneath it. I have so many, I didn't know what to do with it. But that's one section. And then the other one is a mess. My fabric cart was such a good idea at first. It's one of those old carts where you knew if it was a rainy day, you'd see your teacher wheeling the cart out.
Oh, okay.
And of course, my Stetson is blocking it. Oh, see, okay, there's my mirror. My Stetson is hiding my shame, really.
I
But
like
that is
your
all fabric.
Oh,
That is,
good.
and behind that, that mirror is all fabric.
That's not functional.
And fun fact, at my grandma's house, I knew my grandma did not have a gold lined whatchamacallit. Oh, that covered the camera.
A gold lined whatchamacallit?
Mirror. But when I took it off the wall, I laughed so hard that all these years, because my grandma had all this gold in her entry hall. It was regal. It was old school. Like you walk in and you were like, I don't want to touch anything in this house. Man, that thing was painted plastic. But because it was up so high, no one knew. I took it off the wall. I showed it to people. I'll never forget. I took it off the wall. My dad was like, I've walked past this mirror for 52 years or some crazy number. Some crazy number where he was like, I never knew that thing was so cheap.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So it sits right there. It sits right there. Every single person in my family who comes in here, they're like, I have to see the mirror. Let me see the mirror, please.
I have my
oh.
I have my honorary auntie's mother's mirror. And it's huge. It's really, really large. And it's got like a solid maple, I think, frame. It's so heavy. It's so incredibly heavy. It's not especially ornate. It's really like simple lines. But oh my word, it is not plastic. It's not fancy, but it's not plastic, and it's so heavy.
Well, my grandmother teetered between like some of the fanciest stuff on earth and is that real? Like but she was so classy, like you thought everything was real and just her house was gold lined and some of it was painted plastic.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, good times. Good times. Well, I would like to thank everybody who's made it this far. I will be back at it on Wednesday. I'm gonna try to get better. I'm gonna start. I've been filming a few things. I'm always sewing. I'm always doing something. I will be back at it on Wednesday. I hope everybody has a good Tuesday. I know I've been streaming a lot lately, but I love coming out and hanging out, you know. So I want to absolutely thank everybody and anyone who's made it this far. I will see you on Wednesday. So I want to thank Kilroy, Pam, CF Beauty, Skits, everybody else, Gilly, anybody else who's made it, hasn't made it, anyone who watches this in the future. I absolutely thank you. You guys are amazing. I'll be back at it on Wednesday. Hopefully I feel better. I'm going to attempt to get some rest. But like I always say, reinforce your seams, be yourself, and I will definitely see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for showing up. I'll see everyone later. Bye.